I really, like, when we met, I was like, oh, he's never gonna have any issue with Tim.
I don't know why you would think that.
Because I thought a person who's like super secure and confident is not gonna.
I find that hilarious. I thought he was never going to have an issue with Tim because you're someone who's super secure. This has nothing to do with him being secure as a person. Like, are you okay in the head? I don't know what Veronica thinks of when she speaks, to be honest with you sometimes. It's like, how does that actually make sense to you?
Came more to like a respect thing.
Exactly. Let's be serious. This has been our hardest trip yet. The way you handled everything this week, from the conflict with Tim to like...
You know, it is a respect thing. The fact that she didn't recognize it was a respect thing from the very get-go was very concerning. The way she sat there, she was like, exactly. What do you mean exactly? Why wasn't that not rocket science to you in the first place? Pure common sense. You know, you need to have boundaries for the person that you want to be with. If you have no boundaries, then what's the point? Okay, because no man's going to come in and be okay with Tim always being there just like that. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying Tim was necessarily there just like that. The biggest problem with Tim was that he was too vocal. But why was he too vocal? Probably because Veronica told him too much. You see what I'm saying? If Tim was less vocal or maybe just didn't say anything, he minded his own business, yes, this office situation would have been completely different, but it was a situation where there was too much being said from Tim, from Jamal, from Veronica, and it was just becoming extremely exhausted and unhealthy. But either way though, the fact that Veronica didn't recognize this whole thing it was due to respect is crazy to me. But then at the same time though, we do look at her in the last season. And in the last season of Single Life, we saw her obviously dating that guy, and she wasted no time trying to obviously get into the bed with him. Do you see what I'm saying? The man even talked about at the time he had a Veruca or something like that, and the fact that he couldn't even kiss her, but she was still adamant to still sleep with him regardless. She was like, well, in that case, we can still pretty much have cold intimacy. Listen, in some situations that is fine, but this was their first time as well. That just shows you and tells you how much she values herself. And also how much her thought process really just ain't there. But listen, before we continue into the rest of the video, we are on the road to 60k subscribers before the end of March. And I know we can do it. All I need is for you non-subscribers that come here all the time to subscribe. Come on now, let's not mess about, but let's continue.
I think we just continue to do what we've been doing. I'll communicate a little better, keep seeing you, every month. And I think as we get closer, I'll have a better idea of like when I am gonna end up moving here.
So Jamal looks like he's on the road to now deciding that he actually wants to move and actually be with Veronica on an actual, long-term serious basis. I mean, listen, do you know what? That is good. It is great stuff. I guess I'm happy for them personally. I guess I'm happy for them. Whether or not I believe their relationship is gonna work or not. I mean, that one is quite subjective. But the season isn't over just yet, so obviously got to wait and see what else comes out. But to be honest, if I was Jamal in this situation, would I want to tolerate somebody that has the mindset that Veronica has? Personally, no. And to be honest with you, I'll say mostly because in the last episode, when she lost her cool, the way she was unacceptable. Unacceptable. I mean, listen, I don't know if she says more dumb things when she's mad or when she's just not bad, to be honest with you. But that's just my opinion, because I just feel like the way she carries herself isn't really of somebody that is, 36 years of age? Somebody that's obviously a mother, all that kind of stuff. I just feel like she still carries herself as if she's still living this kind of like weird teenager phase to a weird degree, you know what I mean? Because it's just the way she views certain things sometimes. It's very subjective. And I do feel like for some bizarre reason that Jamal is probably slightly more mature than she is, or at least his common sense is slightly more mature than hers is. And I find that quite concerning, to be honest with you. And let's be real, like the fact that she was with Tim who's somebody who's older than her, and usually they say that when a woman seeks a man that's older, it's because she's seeking a man that's mature, somebody that can teach her the way, show her the way, and obviously help her in that way. Isn't it kind of weird that she was with somebody for a very long time that is older than her, but yet her mature levels are still quite low? And let's not forget though, Tim would have met Veronica when she would have been super young. I don't know if she would have been like early 20s. Yeah, I think about early 20s, yeah. And the fact that it feels as if her mind hasn't matured since then, that is quite interesting. And I only say this because I know sometimes some women who are younger seek an older man for the benefits of him being mature, him being a leader, him obviously, showing the way, all that kind of stuff. And they can learn from him being the role model, all that kind of stuff, right? But then you look at Veronica right now, what the hell did she learn in that whole time? Because it's funny, because even right now as well, like we can't say she's somebody who was led by anybody, because sometimes in her relationship with Jamal, she tries to lead, which isn't a bad thing. But also at the same time, you can tell that when Jamal tries to lead sometimes, it feels like when Jamal tries to lead, it kind of bothers her because you see, I feel like some of the things that he does to lead in a certain way are more mature than the way Tim potentially did. But it bothers her that she's with someone who's younger, where she expects herself to be the one to lead him. She expects herself to be the one that's going to be the mature person. Because even in this video here, when he speaks about how moving, she said, "I'm surprised you actually stuck around." And I do wonder where that comment stems from. I think that, she's had a chain of events of dating guys around her age and younger than her, and things just have never worked. Why? Because there's a part of her personality that just hasn't matured yet to a certain level. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why maybe she's surprised that Jamal still wants to stick around. I'm happy for her that he does, but I really hope that she can now start to open up her mind a little bit more and maybe allow him to, lead a bit more certain things without her thinking, "Oh, damn, hold on a minute. I should be the one. Like, I'm older than you, so you shouldn't be talking to me like that." Do you see what I'm saying? Because in the last episode, she was talking to him in a way as if she was belittling Jamal, and it felt like she was doing it more because he was younger. But I don't think that she would have done that necessarily to Tim. And the crazy thing about it is that Jamal is more masculine than what Tim is, but she would probably view Tim more of a man only because of his age. But let's be real though. Who would want to be in a relationship with Tim and, expect him to be some kind of person who's going to, really speak to you in a way that X, Y, Z? If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But either way, I just find herself very, very interesting. I just find the way she is very, very fascinating. And really and truly, the link of the way she is has to begin from Tim. Because he was pretty much been there for her for the most compared to any other guy, clearly. I'm sure what I'm saying is making sense. It's making sense to me in my head. I'm just hoping it's making sense outside, which is why I'm probably trying to over-explain it right now. So I'm going to stop it there before I completely confuse the situation. But either way, though, let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Like I said before, we are on the road to 60k subscribers before the end of this month. We can make it happen. Most people that come here are non-subscribers, so all we need is you guys to click, like the video, and of course, peace. Oh, if you're still here, that reminds me, because there's a part here where she says to Jamal, "I like the way you handled everything that went down with Tim." You see what I'm saying? I feel like she said that because clearly she's not used to people maybe handling things the way he did. And I remember there's a scene with her and Tim and Jamal and whatnot after the whole bust up and whatnot. And Jamal had walked away. Tim was like, "Why is he walking away from?" And Veronica was like, "He's walking away because he's doing the right thing. He knows that he has to walk away to cool down." So she's already recognized that Jamal has mechanisms to help him calm down in situations that are unnecessary. You see what I'm saying? She's probably not used to that neither. So she's probably now starting to recognize that maybe just because he's younger than her, that he does have a certain level of maturity that clearly she's probably always needed in her life. But for her, it's coming at a guy who's younger than her rather than a guy that is older than her. It is what it is, but some people do judge people based on age. People shouldn't do that, but it happens. Either way, though, let me know what you're thinking and we can talk about it. Peace.